Hey everyone, I'm back. I had to restart this because the stream connection for some odd reason was bad. I don't know what that was about, but I restarted it, and so just now. And I'm gonna go back to the control room and make sure that it is better this time around. It should be. I don't get that it's, yeah, stream is good. That's the way it should be. I wanted a good stream and not a bad one so that you could tune in and see me, and it wouldn't be buffering, right? So we're back and everything is plugged in and go, and I'm gonna have to restart this in terms of promoting it, edit the video as I go, and put this on Twitter and Facebook, and as I have now said, all points in between. Okay, this is about how the game, it's more about how a particular Raider player shouldn't behave than about the Raider loss, although it's hard to think that the Raider loss didn't trigger it. But Donald Penn clearly has some issues that he needs to work on, and fast, before they get the better of him and he goes the wrong way. All right, that's for certain. So you're wondering what I'm talking about, and stream status is good. And so I'm gonna, once I finish putting this out, hey, welcome to Zenny62. I'm gonna have a whole story up in a matter of seconds. Bear with me, please. Bear with me, please. And so I'm just setting up the page here, and I'm also putting this out on social media so that it can be picked up properly and people can tune in. Hopefully the notifications are working for you, but please, if you just joined me, bear with me. I am putting this out here right now so that it's properly tagged. That is exactly what's going on. And then, as I said, I will share with you what happened in all of its sad glory. That's exactly the way I put it. Donald Penn has some issues he has to work on, to say the least. And it's called basically controlling your temper and growing up. Okay. He is a multimillionaire. A multimillionaire. And you would think that a multimillionaire has better things to do than basically pick fights with 10-year Raider season ticket holders. You know, that's weird. There's no other way to describe that than weird. No other way. And unfortunate. Well, the other thought that comes to mind is unfortunate, to say the least. Okay, so, and okay, here I am tagging this now. Boom. Live stream. Hashtag Raiders. Hashtag live stream. There. Okay, and post. So there's the post out there. And I'm going to get some of the Forever Oakland types involved as well. Oops, excuse me there. Let's see here. I tag it to there. Greg Jens, and then Chris, and then Chris Layton, and then other people, Chang, and there, and who else? Who am I missing here? Yeah, I can go on. All right, cool. Cool. All right, so there is that. And then just once more with feeling for Raider Nation. Boom. Oops. Excuse me. He had internet beef with. Okay. Beef with. All right, and hashtag, oh, excuse me, Raiders. Raider Nation. Got it. All right, that's by YouTube. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, now we are out and away. And here we go. Now, Silver Maze, hey, how you doing? He says, I knew the Raiders were going to lose, but didn't think the defense would be that bad. All right. Who else is in? Give me a chime so I can actually show you what's going on here. In fact, you know what? I'm going to right now do that. And give me a thumbs up as well, because I have something I want to share with you. This is Donald Penn at his worst. I hold. And this is not a cool thing for anybody to do at all. I don't recommend doing it at home. All right, so here, welcome to Zinni62 on YouTube. Now that there's 22 of you here, I'm going to key it up. Barry Lee, if you tweet out, please do hashtag Raider Nation. Thank you very much. Here is the, here is hashtag Raiders, hashtag Oakland, okay? And then hashtag NFL. Got it. All right. Now, here's that. Hey, Raider Flea, how are you? Hey, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome. All right. Now that you all are here comfortably, as they say, hold on to your butts. All right. No, actually, Richard, he did not. Let me take you back through the unfortunate chain of events and where it started. It started here. With it really started here, okay? Anyway. Hold on a second. All right, here it goes. This is where it started, folks. Hey Austin, how you doing? Here's where it starts, folks. This was several weeks ago. This says September. So let's say September 25th. Yeah, September 25th. Okay. This is where it starts.
Oh, look at 21 million, bro. 21 million for real! For real! Fuck, bro! Oh, look at 21 million, bro! 21 million for real! For real! Fuck, bro!
Alright, so after that, this is Donald Penn responding. Okay, and I want you to, I'm going to show you the difference, okay? This is Donald Penn right here, and that's him, okay? And Donald Penn basically says, blank you, B-I-T-C-H, you're blank, still broke, you're tripping off of an offsides. This is Donald Penn. Go get your drunk blank some water while I block you, okay? That's Donald Penn. And he says, next time you at the game, say it to my face. Also, kid, laugh out loud, all right? That's Donald Penn. Now, Chava responds, I'm there all the time, you'll season ticket holder for 10 years. Now get this. He's a season ticket holder for 10 years and he treats him like that. Okay? So he says, you really got time to go through all this DMs, bro, right? Then he says, find me after and say it to my face. And then he says, don't get our quarterback leg broken again, okay? And so Chava says, you know, laugh out loud, basically. Who knew a 6'5", 300-pound man could be such a soft ass, you know what? Hashtag big for nothing. Instead of worrying about my comment, worry about the weak blank performance the whole line had. I think the drunk one is you dumb, you know, he false starts on offside. And then he says, make the block, Don. Again, he, you know, says all this, all right, which is fine. And so anyway, all right. So he goes to the A's game with a family, you know, rooted in Oakland. There's a family, right? And then he enjoys, says just some kids from the hood with big dreams trying to make it, supporting his brother, which is really nice. You know, Oakland original. Very nice, okay? Little doggy there says she had them WTH eyes, the disappointment looked in her face. He said, Raiders about to ask our own line for refund, get your blank together. All right. And then these are guys, brothers, let's get this W. You know, they're out there doing their thing, supporting the Raider Nation. Then, all right, hold on a second. I think, yeah. This is where it gets weird, all right? It says, don't ever let a grown man call you a bitch. Now, remember Donald Penn, okay, remember, all right? Donald Penn said, you know, say it to my face. So here he is basically saying it to his face, right? Right, okay, right there.
Come on, bro, we ain't no bitch. Get off, bro. Get off, 21 mil. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, 21 mil. Look at video. Come on, bro. 21 mil. Come on, bitch. You don't come back up. I'm right here. Come on, bro. Come on, 21 mil. Come on, bro. Come on, yeah. Lay rock, bro. Yeah, be a player, bro. That's why you don't play like that. I'm right here, bro. We ain't doing no shit. I'm right here, bro. Ain't nobody saying that. You don't want to play, bro. I'm right here. I'm right here. Don't block, boy. Hey, you're blocking. Come on, bro. We ain't no bitch. Get off, bro. Get off, 21 mil. Come on, bro. He ain't gonna swing. He ain't gonna swing. I'm out here. He ain't gonna swing. He ain't gonna swing. Instagram. Who are you? Sav_16. You got it, bro. He got me. Say something, bro. But fuck him, bro. He don't want it. I'm out here. He called me a bitch 2 weeks ago. Talking about I wouldn't come say to his face. I'm out here, bro. I ain't no bitch. We from the town, bro. He stuck with me, bro. He called the cops. He called the cops. He called the cops. Bitch ass nigga, bro. Straight from me, stuck with him, bro. Get a quarterback like bro again, boy. Straight up.
He's out here claiming that I threw a bottle at his car. I did not throw shit. I would not disrespect another man's property like that. I didn't throw anything. If I would have thrown something, you don't think cops and security would have bomb rushed me? You feel me? They would have rushed to me because I'm throwing some shit. Okay, stop lying. That's what his agent is telling him to say, so he won't look like an idiot. He looked like an idiot stepping out. But you feel me? He called me a bitch 2 weeks ago saying I wouldn't come say to his face. But you know what? I ain't no bitch, and I came to say to your face, bruh. You don't deserve 21 million because you ain't blocking for shit. Okay? So stop lying that I threw shit at your car because I ain't throw nothing, bruh. Keep it 100.
Okay, so
I did not throw shit. I would not.
That's the latest, and sad. I actually reached out to the young man, invite him on, and yeah, I'm sure we'll connect. I feel sorry for him that he had to go through that because, look, he's a fan. He is doing what fans do. Fans get after players who don't perform. Okay, but for Donald Penn to come out of his car the way that he did was not the kind of behavior that a grown, mature adult does. Okay. Someone told me that the young man knows jiu-jitsu and all that and could take him. That's beside the point. Donald Penn should never have exited his car. And then not only that, what really bothers me about this is, I'll show you, this is what really bothers me about this entire episode, all right? And I'll explain what happened in a second, Rick Rice. And for those of you watching this video on demand, hold on a second, okay? And we will, this is, show you what the young man had to go through, okay? So, and thank you, moderators, for doing your job. Excellent work. Now, that's why there's Insters. So now, I want you to watch something about this, okay? This is what I find particularly bothersome about this. Okay, watch this. Okay, look, right? Look at that. You know what kind of car that is? You know what that is? You know what that is? That's a Bentley. That is a Rolls-Royce Bentley Continental. Look at this. Okay. Are you kidding me? This man has a Rolls-Royce Bentley Continental convertible. I will repeat, Donald Penn has a Rolls-Royce Bentley Continental convertible, all right? A Bentley Continental convertible. What is the cost of that? I mean, what is the cost of that? Let me look up the cost of that real quick. All right? Welcome, boss. Let me look at the hold on a second. Let me look up the cost of that, all right? Bentley, there's a Bentley Continental convertible. Bentley Continental convertible. That costs $218,000. Thank you. $218,000 specifically. Manufactured suggested retail price $218,400, and that's the bottom. All right. Miles per gallon, if you're wondering. 14 city, 24 highway. Curb weight 5,412 pounds. Seating capacity 4. I mean, this is the car. Look at this. This is what Donald Penn has. Look at this, all right? Look at this. This is what Donald Penn has. This, all right? This car. That's the car. And he's going to get out of that and challenge to a fight a kid worth not even a fraction of his wealth that he's accumulated from playing football. I mean, suppose he had thrown a punch. He could have pissed all that away, that Bentley Continental and more like that. That's how stupid what he did was. I mean, completely stupid, okay? Balcio says, I told you all this season was toast. Listen to Baus. Crawford says, Barry, you know Vegas wants the wholesome entertainment. Baus says, Sal never threw a bottle. No. Hey, Baus, I want to thank you for sending me this. Can you come on Skype? Just give me a yes or no. You want to come on Skype? And what I can do is actually call you. You don't have to go and worry about, you know, going on the video. Well, actually, video would be cool. What say you? Now, I'm going to wait for your reaction, because I say this because Baus, were it not for Baus, I wouldn't have known about this incident, so I thank him very much. The Chiefs won. Yes, I saw that. I was watching it with Mom downstairs. We were both sad that Deshaun Watson lit up the night for part of it, but the Texans defense left him out to dry. That's the way it was. Anyway, Baus, you want to come on? Baus says next week after Chargers beat the Raiders. Okay, fine. Now, so I will continue. And, phew, I mean, what do you guys think of what I saw? And Wick Rice asked what happened, all right? I'm going to go back through this. I'm going to show this again for those of you just joining us who didn't see this or wondering what the issue is, all right? And I'm going to take you back through this again, showing you what happened and where it started, okay? So here we go, all right? This is it, okay? Here we go, all right? It starts right here.
Oh, look at 21 million, bro. 21 million for real. For real.
And so he tags Donald Penn, okay? So he tags Donald Penn, okay?
21 million for real.
Right here.
For real. Fuck, bro.
All right, so that's where that goes, all right? So then this is what he says Donald Penn brought back to him. This is Donald Penn, okay? This is Donald Penn. That's Donald Penn there. As you can read it, okay? Let me read it for yourself, all right? A lot of bad words here. Blank and blank and blank. This is a Raiders multi-million-dollar Bentley Continental owning, veteran offensive lineman using this language toward a kid, okay? Basically. And all right, and then he says this, next time you're at the game, say it to my face, also laugh out loud, kid. That's what he does, okay? So the kid responds, I'm there all the time, your season ticket holder for 10 years, to which he should have congratulated him. He says, you really got time to go through all the DMs, bro, the direct messages, bro? Then he says this, like, find me after and say it to my face. Look at this. Donald Penn says, next time you're at the game, say it to my face, also kid. And then he says, find me after and say it to my face. Wow. And then he responds smartly. It's very intelligent. Don't get our QB leg broken again. No, okay? He never, okay, I'm just going to say something. To his credit, he never threatened Donald Penn. Even as much as Donald Penn basically all but threatened him. In other words, he went to the edge but didn't issue a full, complete threat, all right? He didn't issue a full, complete threat, okay? Just saying, all right? Now, all right, now then it goes on from here. This is where it starts, all right? Now then, okay, this is, they're having a good time at the game, all right? And then doing this thing for this bro, right? Little dog is unhappy. And then, you know, here, okay? And then here, all right?
Come on, bro. We ain't no bitch. Get off, bro. Get off, 21 mil. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, 21 mil. Take a video. Come on, bro. Come on, 21 mil. Come on, fans, bitch. You don't come back up. I'm right here. I'm right here. Come on, bro. Come on, 21 mil. Come on, bro. Come on, yeah. Let roll, bro. Yeah, be a player, bro. That's like you a fan like that. I'm right here, bro. We ain't doing no shit. I'm right here, bro. Ain't nobody trying to get the one thing, bro. I'm right here. I'm right here. Don't block, boy. Hey, you're blocking.
Then so he says this, okay?
He ain't gonna swing. He ain't gonna swing. I'm out here. He ain't gonna swing. He ain't gonna swing. Instagram. Who are you? Sav_16. You got it, bro. He got me. Say something, bro. But fuck him, bro. He don't want it. I'm out here. He called me a bitch 2 weeks ago. Talking about I wouldn't come say to his face. I'm out here, bro. I ain't no bitch. We from the town, bro. He stuck on me. He called the cops. He called the cops. He called the cops. Bitch ass nigga, bro. Straight from me, stuck him, bro. Fuck him. Get a quarterback like bro again, boy. Straight up.
Here claiming that I threw a bottle at his car. I did not throw shit. I would not disrespect another man's property like that. I didn't throw anything. If I would have thrown something, you don't think cops and security would have bomb rushed me? You feel me? They would have rushed to me because I'm throwing some shit. Okay, stop lying. That's what his agent is telling him to say, so he won't look like an idiot. He looked like an idiot stepping out. But you feel me? He called me a bitch 2 weeks ago saying I wouldn't come say to his face. But you know what? I ain't no bitch, and I came to say to your face, bruh. You don't deserve 21 million because you ain't blocking for shit. Okay? So stop lying that I threw shit at your car because I ain't throw nothing, bruh. Keep it 100. He's out here claiming that I threw a bottle at his car. I did
Okay, so, all right. So now you have, once again, this full, complete story from his side. Now, someone said, you know, what's Donald Penn's side of the story? I'm going to tell you this. Whenever you have video and the other person does not, it automatically becomes a situation where your word is supported by evidence. Now, Saul's language aside, it's difficult to criticize Saul's language when compared with what Donald Penn threw right back at him in black and white in writing, and then said in front of him, none of that, and I repeat, getting out of his $218,000+ Bentley Continental convertible to confront a 10-year Raider season ticket holder. 10-year. Now, was Saul correct in taunting Donald Penn the way he did online? No, absolutely not. But Donald Penn should simply have ignored him, okay? Or if Donald Penn were concerned that the young man was bothering him, he could have, and he said, I'm, 10-year season ticket holder, Donald Penn could have blocked him and then complained to Raider management that, hey, the season ticket holder is giving me a problem. And this is to Saul. Saul, you opened yourself up for that, okay? So it wasn't good for you to do that. And I say this to fans out there in any industry, there's nothing so important that you have to attempt to make yourself, or however it feels, by issuing that exchange and inviting the possibility that this person is going to lower himself to your place. That doesn't do anyone any good. It doesn't matter if the man knows, Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, Bruce Lee style Kung Fu. So what? If it gets to that level, that means civilization ends. And that's my concern about society today, okay? It's a lack of intellect that drives a person to want to end that way. What does it solve? Nothing. But Donald Penn is a multimillionaire. A multimillionaire. And again, I say this to Sal's credit. He at no point threatened Donald Penn. He trolled him. Okay? He trolled him. He openly trolled him. And Donald Penn couldn't take the trolling and responded in a way that I never thought I'd see from a Raider player, let alone anyone who's supposed to hold a position of stature in this country. To which some of you might be laughing out loud. And I get it. I get it. Okay, I get it. Now let me get to your comments. Bouse says, Rick Rice says, so your pal Sal's Rolls Royce now? Haha. Bouse really says, Rolls Royce or not, you think size is going to matter? All right, Rick Rice says, Sal's a punk looking for trouble, which I disagree with. Bouse really says, but Rick, you and I can get into a match. You got a mouth on you. Oh, guys, cool it. All right. Raider Fleet says, hey, Zinni, there's a story that came out there earlier this week about the Raider O-line letting Card get sacked. I don't want to deal with that. I've heard it, and I think it's crap. I think it's right-wing placed crap. Boss Ruler says, let's see how much of a, well, he's talking with, hey, Rick Rice, chill. And Rick, if both of you guys don't chill, I'll have to put you both in a timeout. Okay? One morning. So, Rick, you came after, all right? So, all right, Rick, knock it off. Rick Rice, knock it off. Okay? Right there. Just stop it. Stop it. Okay? So, if you don't stop it, next time you issue something like that, I'm automatically putting you on a timeout. That's auto. I may even block you. So, I'm not putting, okay? Then don't say, for those of you on video on demand, I'm reading the chats. Rick Rice, I don't, and Boss, don't do it. So both of you, stop. Stop. I don't care who's at fault, children. Stop. Okay? Now, moving forward. Okay, Barry Lee says, Joseph, the point is as much the Raider players make, they should not be getting out of their cars to confront fans. Right, they shouldn't. Okay? And so Mark Medrano says, O-line is a conspiracy theory. Nah, I'm not touching that. Does anybody have anything intelligent to say? Anything? So, I'm just watching, all right? I'm just watching, okay? Now we got some comments. Awesome. All right. Rick Richard says, do you think the Raiders will do anything about Penn's actions? How about the NFL? I have to run that by the league and find out. Hennessy says, will the media take this and use it as reason they want to leave Oakland? No, this is ridiculous. Hennessy, I can't see that happening at all. And the reason I can't is this is an isolated incident that can happen anywhere in the country. This is about Donald Penn's reaction to a person who basically started off as an internet troll. Okay? And that's what it was. And he challenged the guy and says, I'm here. And he's a 10-year season ticket holder. Okay, so no, this could be, you take out the Raiders, it could be any NFL team or any team in sport. So no, I don't at all. Silver Maze says, trolling these days is different though. You can tell a person it means what they say or not. That's true. That's a very intelligent point. And let's see here. Crawford says, this season has spiraled out of control. This week in the NFL in general has been really weird. That's true, Crawford. And it has been. And Silver Maze says, can we get to the game? We can talk about the game, yeah. But I wanted to get this out of the way because it's talk. I mean, it's for obvious reasons, okay? I mean, we got 47 watching right now and growing. Dorian says, Son Smith needs to go ASAP. Ooh, yes. John Mark says, okay, John Marks, you're my moderator. You got that under control. No blocks, but if you feel necessary, put anyone on a timeout, please do so. But no blocks, okay? Leave it to my controller. My moderator, all right? Corvette says, Raider D looked bad. Sean Smith got lit up again. Boss Ruler says, no, Penn is a, yeah, Penn is not, I'm not going to say Penn is a punk, but what he did was wrong. Silver Maze says, they need defense, but it got ignored in the draft. I don't know about that. Rich Huck says, do you think Downing and Norton would get the axe? I'll tell you, if Ken Norton Jr. gets the axe, then in the next move, it should be Jack Del Rio that gets the axe, because it's Del Rio's defense. Del Rio, by his own admission, brought in Ken Norton Jr. to learn to be a defensive coordinator. So he's only doing Jack Del Rio's bidding, period, okay? So fixing the defense is not going to happen just by changing, defensive coordinators. It has to happen by changing philosophy, and that philosophy comes not from Ken Norton Jr., but from Jack Del Rio. If Del Rio fires Norton Jr., it will be CYA, okay? Covering your tail and nothing more. It will be a cowardly act. I tell you that. Now, Bouse says Penn is reckless. And so I'm going to avoid the personal comment there. Patrick and Blackman says, I can see Jack Del Rio getting fired. Thanks, John Marks. John Marks has got my message. Raider Flea says, what grade do you give EJ for today's game? A B. Actually a B plus. Because it's not his fault. Let's say a B minus. He did miss a number of passes, but he started off the first half, I'd say 1/3 of the game, one third of the way through the game, he was 7 of 10 yards. He was 70%. So you have to give him credit for starting off well. Then the Ravens defense adjusted their schemes to catch up with what the Raiders were doing. All right. So Richard Hike says Smith might get pulled by the law before the Raiders ever pull him. Wow. Talking about Sean Smith. It seems to me that Sean Smith was a target for the Ravens just coming out. So the Ravens under Morningwig did the smart thing. They found a pigeon in Sean Smith and they picked him apart, literally. And so Silver Maze asks, will Cooper catch a pass more than a few yards? That's a scheme issue. Barry Lee says, hey, I put out on Twitter an article that says the NFL season pass sales in London are down from last year. Wow. John Santos says, Raiders looking bad. Rick Rice says Penn is overpaid. Should never give him an extension. And so Rick Rice and Bouse agree on something. And Bouse predicts that the Raiders will lose to the Chargers. Lords Bomulus says, I'm glad the Raiders are losing. He's glad. I'm not. I'm not glad the Raiders are losing. I have to say that. John Marks says to the San Diego or LA Chargers. And John Marks, yes, that's what he means. I'm not glad the Raiders are losing. And the reason I'm not is because every ounce of goodwill that we can engineer from this season takes us that much further toward the Raiders staying here or wanting to stay here or engineering a reason to stay here. So, no, I'm not happy about that at all. So anyway, Citron's Cooper says, Cooper had 2 targets for the game. Crabtree had 9. Yeah, they are not engineering plays for Amari Cooper, and they could easily do that. There are a number of ways you can get him into the game. You can put him in the backfield, set him in motion, want to get his feet wet a little bit, put him on a flat pattern, have EJ Manuel roll toward that, roll to a point, stop and throw, give him the flat pattern, let him catch it at the line of scrimmage and run, just to get him in the flow of the game. Ken Stabler used to do that with Mark Van Egan. He would just give Mark Van Egan the handoff up the middle just to get the whole offensive line cobwebs out and everything else. Get everybody's nerves calmed down and they can start playing some football. That's how they have to think, the Raiders. And so we've got, let's see here. Oh, and Bob says, I disagree. They never wanted to stay here. Gotcha. Ms. Zeitgeist says their defense looks sloppy today. And Barry Lee says, hey, Zinni, y'all there safe from the effects of the hurricane? Thank you for asking, Barry Lee. Yes, probably. I'm happy to say that we are. What is left of Hurricane Nate Miley. What's left of Hurricane Nate Miley hit Biloxi, Mississippi, and Mississippi is to the west and a little bit north of us. So as I was explaining to my mom, I think it's highly unlikely that the storm is going to take a turn to the right like this, because we're here and Mississippi is here. So I don't see the storm going like that, okay? It's going more like that, and it's going to continue dissipating. So, we're okay. Now, we're supposed to get continuous rain. Maybe it'll turn that way, but even if it does, it still misses us. Just saying. I think we're okay. So, but thank you for asking, Barry Lee. And Boss says, wishful thinking on my part. Admittedly, it is, Boss Man. And Patrick and Blackman says, Pep Hamilton for head coach, who is my favorite to begin with. John Mark says, court injunction on the Vegas move. Citron says, I think tight end had 8 targets. Did I read that correctly, Citron? Johnny M says, Boss. Then 4 days later, they got the deal with Kansas City. Can Abyss. I can't read that comment, Can Abyss. Silver Maze says, EJ getting sacked again and again, but I thought he had wheels. Well, he does have wheels. The question is, was he allowed to use them? Depends on what the coaches told him. Bouse says, Raiders defense is solid as Vegas stadium finances. That's a good one. Twitch Crawford says, ouch, laugh out loud. Bashirula says, Johnny, KC going to smash the Raiders? KC does look like a world beater, right? But we'll see. And we've got, Hurricane Nate Miley. I'm going to call Hurricane Nate Miley. So call Nate and say, hey, Zinni's calling you the Hurricane. I am. Hurricane Nate Miley. For those of you who are wondering who Nate Miley is, he is our Alameda County Supervisor and sitting member of the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum Joint Powers Authority. Hey, Scott McKibben, glad you tuned in to watch, because I know you're watching. And so Crawford371 says, can't wait till the flyover signs of the Coliseum courtesy of San Diego fans come Sunday. Ooh. Barry Lee says, I wish the Raiders had won on my birthday today, but no. Wait. You're telling me, Barry Lee, that today is your birthday? Is that what you're saying? If Citron's EJ had a nice run, set up Lynch touchdown. Thank you, Citron. Are you saying that your birthday is today, Barry Lee? Okay, everybody, happy birthday. Happy birthday to Barry Lee. Woo! Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Barry Lee. I'm writing happy birthday, Barry Lee. Happy birthday, Barry Lee. Happy birthday. Basher really says, nope. Norton, Reggie, and Jack, all former NFL linebackers, can't find good linebackers, laughed out loud. But we all say happy birthday to Barry Lee. Barry Lee, who's, battled health problems and Hurricane Harvey, to come and make sure that he's consistently here. A real Zinster even wears my t-shirt with a photograph on his Twitter account at Barry Lee. Thank you, Barry Lee. Happy birthday, man. Hey, wow. That means we all owe a present of some kind to Barry Lee. Even if it's just to say, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Barry Lee. Happy birthday to you. And many more. And may you get married to a beautiful wife and all that stuff. There you go. Happy birthday. 48 is young, man. You are a young man. You're still a young man. Barry Lee. You are still a young man. Now, all right. So let's take a look as the request was to me as at the game and what happened to it statistically. So, and if those of you who are just joining us and you want to find out what the fuss is about regarding the Instagram fight, chime in, let me know, just say, hey, Zinni, I want to see, can you replay that? I'm happy to do so for you if you just tuned in. Welcome to Zinni62 on YouTube, Zinni62 daily vlog, Zinni62 live tonight. So now I'm going to kind of move over here. Let's do a scoring recap. We've got Minnesota at Chicago for the Monday Night Football game. New England nicked Tampa Bay 19-14. I call it a nick because of the way the game went. Cincinnati put Buffalo in its place. Watch out. The Bengals won 20-16 over the Bills. The organization that a week ago I said should be considered for the AFC Championship. Watch out for the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, they got a little too big for them. Their own, like their press clippings, they turned around, they lost. Cleveland Browns lose another one, even though Myles Jarrett debuts and gets a sack. Jets prevail in Cleveland, 17-14. Cam Newton looks fantastic, threw for over 350 yards. Carolina survives Detroit 27-24. Indianapolis clips San Francisco, and it really was a clip, 26-23 in Indianapolis. Miami Dolphins get a win. The Tennessee Titans, another so-so game with Marcus Mariota, lose 16-10. The Chargers of Los Angeles get a win against the New York Giants, 27-22. Philadelphia Eagles looking scary, 34-7 over Arizona. 34-7 over Arizona, wow. Jacksonville 30, Pittsburgh 9. I repeat, Jacksonville 30, Pittsburgh 9. Seattle Seahawks win over the LA Rams, 16-10 in LA. And of course, we know Baltimore 30, Oakland 17, the Donald Penn fight game, let's call it that. Green Bay 35, Dallas 31, but Dallas could have won the last 11 seconds. They quite literally missed it by that much. Talking about that throw that wasn't caught. And Kansas City 42, Houston 34. A great game to watch, but sadly Houston at home did not do the job in beating the Chiefs. And so there's your recap of the games, and now we'll go to look at the Raider game, the final, and find out statistically what happened. Hey, Joseph Bensman, how are you? And it is too bad. Hey, again, if you haven't seen the video Instagram issue, please let me know. Even if you have to copy and paste, I'm happy to replay it for you and take you through what the issue is. All right. Now, and so we've got. Lucky for me, excuse me here. The only thing I hate about this when I go to the NFL for the read off is this doggone. Let me clip him. All right. Got rid of him. Try this Geico guy. Ugh. I hate that. Oh, wait a minute. And then all of a sudden, you can't really click around, and they've got it so that you can't avoid clicking on it. Next thing you know, you're clicking the wrong thing, and like, all right, cool, fine. All right, so here's the box score. The box score, all right? Here's the box score. All right. For the Ravens, Joe Flacco was 19 of 26, 222 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. E.J. Manuel was 13 of 26, 50%. 13 of 26 for 159 yards and 1 touchdown, but no interceptions. The bugaboo, the rushing game. Marshawn Lynch, 12 rushes for 43 yards. He paced them. The Raiders ran a grand total of 26 times, excuse me. Marshawn Lynch carried 12 of them. And this is horrible. So the Raiders weren't able to run, but basically the Ravens were. And that's what you're looking at here. Total first downs, the Raiders 15, the Ravens 19. Third down efficiency, 50% for both teams. Fourth down efficiency, Raiders 0 for 1. Total net yards, 245 for the Raiders. That spells Ravens defense. 365 for the Ravens. 365 total net yards. Total net yards. 5.6 yards per offensive play for the Ravens. 4.5 yards for the Oakland Raiders. 4.5 yards. Average game per rushing play, 4.3, a little bit below their season average. Average game per rushing play for the Ravens. Get this. They had 39 rushing plays. The average game was 3.7 yards per carry. But they kept feeding their running backs, something the Raiders weren't doing. Now, for me, with the kind of arm E.J. Manuel had, I'd have made him throw 40 or 50 times. 5 wide, 4 wide. They would have been shocked. They had average game per passing play of 4.7 to the Raiders. No blocks. And they were sacked 3 times, whereas no sacks by the Raiders defense. Okay, so there's the pattern. The Ravens defense came to play. You know the story. There it is, all right? And as John Marks says, the Vegas does not deserve the Raiders. Rick Rice says, Ken Norton couldn't stop the run when they knew it was coming the entire fourth quarter. Neither could Jack Del Rio. Ms. Zeitgeist says, Beast Mode didn't look like Beast Mode today, neither did the offensive line. Dorian Salvador says, if you don't support the love for Vegas, after what happens, you get your priorities straight, something like that. Silver May says, Raiders O-line gets slow and looks slow and weak. Crawford says, Joe Flacco looked elite today. He did. Raiders defense, well, actually, except for one thing. Whoa, time out. Joe Flacco did not look elite today. Why? He had no touchdown passes. Okay? So, all right. Raiders defense do what they do best, help opposing QBs get out of slumps. No. And so, Rick Rice says, Flacco is elite when playing against the Raiders defense. He was not elite. He was not elite. And as Silver May says, Joe was throwing against the Raiders. Corners. No, not elite. Thank you, Joe. Joseph Bensman says, Raiders, ouch. Another great Rodgers-led comeback in Dallas. Oh, I was sick to watch that. What a pass catch. My Giants are such a sad mess, says Joseph Bensman. Sucks seeing OBJ and others get hurt today. Sucks seeing Watt get hurt again also. Sent to the hospital. And, yeah, just bad. All right, now. So we've got, let's see, Rick Rice says, Joe Flacco needs not touchdowns for us to be elite. I disagree. I 1,000% disagree with you. I 1,000% disagree. Joseph Benson says Ravens are so spotty today they show up. Right. And Dorian says, hate the move to Vegas, not to support. And here, Richard Hike says, Dorian, we can have love and support for the people who were victims of the shooting and still hate Vegas. Yeah, that's right. Patrick M. Blackman says, fans are the best and worst thing about sports. Now, let me tell you something about the whole issue. I am 1,000% hashtag Vegas strong, okay? But that doesn't mean I have to like the idea of the Raiders trying to move to Vegas. I don't. I believe, okay, that's it, all right? Now, there are some real problems with that deal. Now, and the worst problem of all is the certain lack or certain decline, or what will be a decline in casual tourism visits, not people coming for conventions, because I'm going to CES, for example, but casual tourism visits because of this. After the Paris attacks in 2016, the nation of France, which is the #1 most visited in the entire world from a tourism perspective, lost $843 million. That's right, $843 million. And that's #1. Las Vegas is #6. So and then I remind you, before this happened a week ago, pretty much almost a week ago to this point in time, started at 10:30 Pacific, a week ago Sunday. I remind you, before this happened, there are already 2 incidents on the strip that some people mistook as terrorist related. They weren't. They shut down the strip because of that Cosmopolitan issue with the alleged shooter and everything. And there was one a little earlier. So I'm wondering if the reductions in stadium revenue per month over the first 5 months are in some way related to the crime going on the strip. If that's the case, real problem, all right? So Raider Nation says, hey, Raider Nation 007, Raider Nation 707, as in Boeing 707. Welcome to Zenny 62. And the next Las Vegas Stadium Authority meeting is October 12th. And Rick Rice says, sell everybody except Hassan Smith. And Silver says, May said that he expects the Chargers to put 50 points on the defense. Alessandro De Silva says, hi, Zenny. Hopefully when the Raiders get healthy, things will change from winning ways forever, Oakland. I agree. Kevin KD says, this season is a write-off, with or without Carr. He should shut it down for the season and let his back fully heal. He's still young. John Mark says, Steve Crow needs to grow up. Kevin KD says, Alessandro De Silva, I love my Raiders, but the season is over. I don't believe the season is over. I really don't. let's take a look at how the Raiders could come back. Let's give a look to that, okay? I mean, I don't agree. I think some people want to give up too easily. I disagree. And so, yeah, Cam Newton is the man. He's playing like the man. He's acting like the man. He made a mistake. He acknowledged it. Let's move forward. You know, a lot of people have no problem with what he said. That's another discussion. Others do. That's you know, it's a done deal. Over. Okay. Now let's consider the Raiders and their schedule. You can do that right now. Here we go. Right now they are third in the AFC West. Come with me under the sea, and you will see. Boom. There we go. Oakland Raiders. Okay. They are 2 wins and 3 losses, but they're 2 wins. Okay. So let's check the schedule for the Raiders. All right. They are. Look at this. Right now they're 16th in points, 30th in total yards, 27th in passing yards, rushing yards are 23rd. That's horrible. That's bad. Next game's coming up. They have, here we go. October 15th, Chargers at Oakland, 4:25. Then Kansas City comes to play October 19th, 8:25. That's Sunday night. Then they go to Buffalo, New Era Field. Then they go to Miami. Then New England at Oakland in Mexico City. Then Denver at Oakland, November 20th. So let's play something, all right? Chargers, the Coliseum. I think it's going to be a Raider win. Kansas City, Raider loss. So we're looking at 3 wins. They win here. They win here. They're 3-3. Loss makes them 3-4. Buffalo. I think they're gonna lose at Buffalo. So then Miami. I'm gonna give them a win. New England. I'm gonna give the Raiders the upset in Mexico City. Denver rematch at the Coliseum. Give it to Oakland. New York Giants, Oakland Raider win. Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium. Give that to Kansas City. Dallas at Oakland. Ooh. Give it to Dallas. Oakland, Philadelphia, Lincoln Financial. The Eagles are hot. The Eagles are hot. Then StubHub Center. This one. I'm going to give that one to the Chargers on a split. So, okay, right now it doesn't. All right. As of now, it doesn't look good for the Raiders achieving the playoffs. Okay. And that's just my eyeballing it. But I'll do an official rundown next time. That's my eyeballing it, all right? That's how I see it now. My mind will change. My mind will change. Let's see here. We've got... trying to catch up with your comments here. Someone said trade Cooper for Flacco. Oh, that was Rick Rice, of course. Let's see here. We've got... John Marks says, okay, I'm trying to avoid these comments about the victims. And Richard Hike says, has the NFL cleared Estadio Azteca after the earthquake? I haven't seen that. Let me check that right now. Alessandro says, I will be live at the Raiders Bulls game. I just live across the border in Canada. Ooh. Can you give us a report? Let's see here. Estadio Azteca. Let's see what the news is. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. This is as of September 20th. It reportedly received only light damage. It suffered damage. It said damage considered minor, and reports of a giant crack in the stadium appear to be untrue. Basically, it's going to be played, okay? Mexico City Sport Director says no major damage. So that's where we are. So it says no major damage. Now, when I see something like that, I'm thinking, okay, what's the minor damage? That's for the minor damage. Silver Maze says it's amazing how just after that great season last year, this year they look like 2006 Raiders. They do, but it's, you know, it ain't over, folks. They're 2-3. That's 5 games. So everything hinges on next week. If the Chargers prevail, as Baus predicts, then the Raiders truly have a problem. They truly have a problem. So, Crawford says, did you hear about the Dolphins offensive line coach allegedly videotaped doing a line of coke before a meeting? It's all on Twitter. What? Wait a minute. Let me see this. You got the Dolphins offensive line coach? What? So wait a minute. Is that why they got... Is that why the Dolphins went out and got Laramie Tunsil? You know, he had the whole mask over his face, smoking a bong. He was drafted by the Dolphins. I got to see this. The Dolphins offensive line coach bringing a new meaning to lines. I got to check this out. You're saying this is on Twitter? Hold on a second. I mean, I don't know whether to chuckle or what. That's hilarious. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, all right? And the Chiefs are crowing. Hashtag Chiefs Kingdom is, and just as is Deshaun Watson. Basically, you know what? The NFL represents, oh, let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can we try for 5? No. Okay. 4 of the top 10 worldwide trends belong to the NFL. 3 of them from the game. Let's see here. ABC News, Colin Kaepernick responds to reports saying he would stand during the national anthem if he would to play again. A lie, and Kaepernick's response was, a lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on. Winston Churchill. In other words, he's saying that's a lie. Okay. Now, let's do this whole Dolphins offensive line coach thing. Here is the video. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh, boy. This is wild. All right, I'm going to freeze frame it. And the reason why I'm going to freeze frame it is because okay, I'm going to freeze frame it for this reason. I don't have the copyright to that video, okay? And I'm sure there's some issue there. So I'm going to freeze frame it just to see, so you can get an idea what people are talking about. I freeze framed it right here. There. All right? So there you go. All right? You know, what an idiot. I mean, what an idiot. I mean, I'm serious. What's going on with the world today? What an idiot. Wow. Oh, boy. And so, he is Chris Forrester, offensive line coach. He is, and you know, reportedly snorting a white substance. What is he saying here? He said something. He says, that's ridiculous. I mean, this guy is like, man. Hello, Laramie Tunsil. Hi. This Chris Forrester video is hilarious. This is an hour ago. Here's a candid video of the Dolphins. Chris Forrester giving the Dolphins an inspirational halftime speech. Someone zeroes in on Ray Liotta, and this is unbelievable. Chris Forrester video is about to become the most searched thing on Twitter tonight. Yeah, that was 55 minutes ago. Ian Rappaport on a NSWF online video features offensive line coach Chris Forrester. We were just made aware of the video and have no comment at this time. This was an hour ago. All right, folks, I got it. All right, that was an hour ago. This is hilarious. Oh my God, this is hilarious. Oh boy. And, oh, Eric Guerrero here says, okay, Eric, did you see it? Eric says, oh, Rick Rice says it's on Twitter. There is no copyright issue. Actually, that's not true, because I, on Twitter last night, made a video around the Gal Gadot kiss of Kate McKinnon on Saturday Night Live. and NBC Universal blocked my video in some countries on YouTube. Okay, so don't ever think that because something appears on YouTube, there's no copyright issue. There is a copyright issue. Okay, there is. Now, I knew that was a possibility, so I, went ahead and made it knowing that that would happen. But I'm telling you, just because you see a video in which you believe to be the public domain, which is on Twitter, doesn't mean that you have the right to, basically make that video. You have to be careful. What you do is you talk about the video, show your face, and only show about 3 seconds of it, not the whole thing. Okay? Or in this case, I just sold a picture. That picture is worth 1,000 words. And remember that pictures are worth 1,000 words. And I understand it's all over Facebook and all that. Again, I'm telling you, as a person who's done this for over a decade, just because you see something doesn't mean that you have the right to reproduce it in the way that you believe I have the right to do. No. You can get your account banned very quickly. A lot of people do it. They think, okay, it didn't happen to me, so it's never going to happen. You're wrong. Okay? You are wrong, okay? Now, moving forward, he says, Rick Gray says, hey, Zenny, can you share the video? I can. And in this case, regarding this Instagram video, I'm talking about it. I've also asked the person who made it for permission to use it on my show. And I'm using it from a perspective of what is called fair use. That is news reporting, okay? So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it's because it's news. So let me tell you how this all started once again. And I'm going to take you down there right now for those of you who have not seen what turns out to be the encounter between Sal. I don't know if Bossman knows Sal's last name. Sal Chava, I guess it is. And Sal and Donald Penn. Here. Starts with this. This is, he's tagging him. He's trolling him. He says, Dal, what's up, bro? All right. This is what he says, okay?
Oh, look at 21 million, bro. 21 million for real. For real. Fuck, bro.
All right. So then this is Donald Penn comes back. This is the very next slide. He goes, you can read it here. And he says, he calls him broke, says he's tripping off of an offsides, tells him to go get, drunk some water before he blocks him. And then he says, this was really out of line. Next time you're at the game, say it to my face, laugh out loud. Also, kid. And Sal responds, I'm there all the time, yo, season ticket holder for 10 years. Okay. And then he says, you really got time to go through all the DMs, bro? And Donald Penn says, find me after and say it to my face. Now, Sal's response is very, peaceful. He says, don't get our QB leg broken again. All right? So, let's forward to next slide. He's at the A's game with his brother. Little doggy here. Okay. And then this is what happens. This is that time. And he goes, Chava says, don't ever let a grown man call you a bitch. He says, he came to say it to his face, which is wrong. And he says, we ain't blanks in East Oakland. F you, weak ass Donald Penn. Snitch. No, go like he snitches to the cops saying, all right. And then he says, saying I was threatening him. He wasn't threatening him. All that. Okay. And this guy says, showing him how East Oakland, don't blank out. Okay. Anyway. So this is what happens. He's like, I'm here. You can see by his body language. Here I am. Here I am.
Come on, bro. Wait up, bitch. Get off, bro. Get off, 21 mil. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, 21 mil. Take a video. Come on, bro. Come on, 21 mil. No fans, bitch. You don't come back up. I'm right here. Come on, bro. Come on, 21 mil. Come on, bro. Come on, yeah. Lay rock, bro. Yeah, be a player, bro. That's like you don't play like that. I'm right here, bro. We ain't doing no shit. I'm right here, bro. Ain't nobody saying you don't want to play, bro. I'm right here. I'm right here. Don't block, boy. Hey, you're blocking.
This is the next one.
He ain't gonna swing. He ain't gonna swing. I'm out here. He ain't gonna swing. He ain't gonna swing.
Instagram, who are you?
Sav underscore 16.
You got it, bro?
He got me.
Say something, bro.
But fuck him, bro. He don't want it. I'm out here. He called me a bitch 2 weeks ago. Talking about I wouldn't come say to his face. I'm out here, bro. I ain't no bitch. We from the town, bro. He stuck up on me. He called the cops. He called the cops. He called the cops. Bitch ass nigga, bro. Straight from me, stuck him, bro. Fuck with him.
Get a quarterback like bro again, boy.
He's out here claiming that I threw a bottle at his car. I did not throw shit. I would not disrespect another man's property like that. I didn't throw anything. If I would have thrown something, you don't think cops and security would have bomb rushed me? You feel me? They would have rushed to me because I'm throwing some shit. Okay, stop lying. That's what his agent is telling him to say, so he won't look like an idiot. He looked like an idiot stepping out. But you feel me? He called me a bitch 2 weeks ago saying I wouldn't come say it in his face. But you know what? I ain't no bitch, and I came to say to your face, bruh. You don't deserve 21 million because you ain't blocking for shit. Okay? So stop lying that I threw shit at your car because I ain't throw nothing, bruh. Keep it 100.
Okay. So Donald Penn reportedly has put on Twitter that this young man threw a bottle at him. Let me see if that's really the case. If Donald Penn did, do that. Okay. So you type Donald, you get Donald Penn, then Donald Penn fan. Take a look at this, folks. All right. You type Donald Penn in Twitter, just Donald P, right? You just type Donald P and you get Donald Penn fan. So let's go Donald Penn, okay? And then there's Donald Penn, St. Bernard High School. All right. And then he's 3 hours ago, he says, he threw a bottle at my car, but I should have stayed in the car. He was trying to get me to react so he could sue me. Glad I took a second to think. All right. So, and Marquette King says D-Pin 70. All right, and there's some reactions here. It says many witnesses have verified that no bottle was thrown. Penn is using it as excuse to justify why he got his car to confront the fan. That's Darren Pierrot, our friend, says Penn initiated this, and then he basically reposts the whole, exchange. Right there. Okay. So then he says, oh wow, no, that's uncalled for. Right. Completely uncalled for, right? So there it is. That's the latest update about, what happened. Donald Penn basically put that out there. Okay. And so yeah. So basically, all right. So we've got that. Now, what's next? Going back to here. Okay. Now, you got Superman says, I guess the Raiders can be only good once every 2 decades. Raider Nation is Marquette Kings. Well, I don't know who that is. All right. 21 mil. Okay. Yeah, the Raiders lost back-to-back games. That's the main thing is the Raiders lost back-to-back games. Back-to-back games. The Raiders lost back-to-back games. Back-to-back. I mean, there's no other way to call that than the Raiders lost back-to-back games. Sadly. All right. Whew. What a way. What a way to end an ugly. Kevin KD says, ain't it the truth? John Mark says, coming together right now and stick it to Steve Sisolak. There you go. There you go. Joseph Bensman says, nice to see my Yanks win a pitcher's duel. Yeah, they lost back-to-back games. Back-to-back. 3 games in a row to be accurate. Really frustrating. 3 games in a row? They lost 3 games in a row. So, by the way, folks, it is another great double shares night. All right, so please invest. So Rick Gray says, these are Raider fans? Man, after games in the settings, we used to eat with the team in rancheros. We would never call them out. Rick Gray, that's a great point. You know, that's really a great point. That just shows you how much things have changed, and you're absolutely right about that. And is a fan really a fan who does that? And that's where Donald Penn was wrong. Donald Penn should have been 1,000% honest and said, hey, look, this 10-year Raider fan is trolling me, and I don't feel safe. But he didn't do that. Instead, Donald Penn became the aggressor and threatened him. So Sal could have said, hey, you know what? I'm just expressing my opinion as a fan, but this guy threatened me. I mean, two wrongs don't make a right. And Donald Penn should realize that. Donald Penn should also know that in the internet age, if you don't have evidence, you can't just say things. Suppose he had gotten that kid arrested over a false report. Do you realize that Donald Penn could be put in jail for a false crime claim if he had done that? That's just how ridiculous what Mr. Penn did was. Just not cool, all right? And Richard Hike says, Sisolak, I'm not going to make that. Kevin KD says, the whole Penn fan beef is absolutely ridiculous. Yep, it is. And I don't know. Hey, speaking of Sisolak, did anybody watch Saturday Night Live last night? Did you see how they compared our Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, to a Muppet? That was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Nate Prosman says, I like Donald Penn, but this guy needs to learn some sticks and stones. Right, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Same with a lot of these players going to the Trump comments as well. Make too much money to be chewing off around all this. I agree. Eric Guerrero says, Coach JDR is losing his team. Needs to dress before this gets in the locker room. Yeah. Kevin KD says, this is the nicest thing that you can say about Tillerson. Rick Rice says, Penn should not have gotten out of his car. But Sal was there looking for trouble. He wasn't there looking for an autograph. No, you're right. I mean, Sal, but here's the thing. Sal's young, okay? So he is of the idea that I'm from the town. I represent East Oakland. And you're going to call me out. I'm going to defend my manhood, okay? And what better situation for Sal to be in than to be made a star by Donald Penn, who calls him out on his own Instagram page and says, you know, just be at the game. And he goes, hey, I'm a season ticket holder. And that's so he's holding up his hands like, here I am, all right? Okay? And then Donald Penn, rather than just keeping on going, stops his $200,000 Bentley, gets out of the car, you saw it, and comes up to Sal. Now here's the thing. Sal, by all accounts, didn't throw anything, but who's to say that somebody else trying to instigate the whole thing didn't? All right? So let's take it from Donald Penn's position. He's driving along, tinted windows, looks like. Somebody hits his car. Because he did give up a sack, if I'm not mistaken, right? But then someone happens to do that at the moment that Sal's doing this. Sal doesn't know it. Here's this bump. Okay? Now, I got to go back to the comments. No one saw anybody throw anything. All right? So there. But what if somebody else did, and it came from an entirely different angle, and it just happened to be as Sal standing there? Now, we have to go with this. If that happened, then the police, and I'm just thinking this through, and the police and the guards up there, because I've stood out there myself, would react. They would have seen somebody do it. So given that, and given the fact that there was no reaction of that kind, we have to believe that nothing was thrown. Therefore, we have to believe that Donald Penn is making up the story. That's sad. That's also against the law. If that young man had been arrested on that basis and it was found not to be true, Donald Penn could have been charged with making a false statement and engineering a false arrest. All because he decided to get out of his car and follow up on a threat to an internet troll. That's what he was doing. That's what he was doing. All right. So Rick Gray said something. I want to go back and what is this? Rick Gray says, "Can you imagine someone doing that to Stabler, Shell, and Matuzak? The fan would have been in a dumpster eating garbage." Yeah, because there was no social media then. Okay. But not only that, I think the cops would have arrested the fan. The cops would have arrested the fan. There was no social media. If somebody had done that in person, the cops would have interpreted that as a threat and they would arrest the fan like that. Okay. So, Dan Dog says, I don't know about that one, Dan Dog. Joseph Binsman says, I mean, what exactly did Torelson expect? Not exactly like he had a great record as an oil exec anyway. Rick Rice says, Penn shouldn't have got out of his car. And I said that before, right? Nate says, laugh out loud, Penn probably wasn't expecting him to show up. Oops. Richard Hike says, Rick Gray, real talk. Back then, there'd be no cops or lawyers involved. There'd be no social media. No social media. Welcome to Zenny62, everybody. Thank you for joining us. If you are wondering what we're talking about, you haven't seen this whole, to-do, I'm happy to present it to you and describe what happened. And so Eric Guerrero says, yes, I agree with all just seeing a video. Rick Rice says, that's what I'm saying, Rick Gray. However, Donald Penn and team should be worrying about Jack Del Rio, about what Jack Del Rio will do to them tomorrow. Cyril May says, Cooper and Smith should be benched. John Mark says, Donald Penn needs to think. Yeah, he does. Raider Nation says, Mark Davis should be benched. Oh, my goodness. I am going to stop at 1 o'clock. It is 12:54. And the 411 says, I was done with Donald Penn. And so he says, when we wore an ALA Raiders aid an interview, 411, I don't quite understand this message you left. But basically, it sounds like you're saying that Donald Penn said or did something that was supportive of the Carson move, and so you were done with him. All right, fine. And so Eric Guerrero says, we don't know what happened before the video started. Well, Eric, there are other people standing there, and had something happened, you would have heard about it. But just for grins, let's see if anybody else put something up. I'm gonna go with that. Let's take it from the other position. Let's take it from the other position. This is Donald Penn video, and they've got the fan side. Let's see here. They've got that, and all they have is a repeat of the same video that I showed you that Sal has on Instagram, where it says Raider fans confront Donald Penn after today's loss. Let's see here, videos. Yeah, Barry Lee says Zenny is live. Thank you, Barry Lee, thanks for putting that out there. That was an hour ago. So this whole thing became an issue an hour ago, and Donald Penn arguing with fan fight ? And not only that, Penn blocked another fan named Spice Girl for telling him he shouldn't have skipped camp. Then he says, look at him this week arguing with fans. Raider offensive lineman Donald Penn was ready to knock out his own fans. So I don't see anything. Oh, and Terrell Suggs swipes by Donald Penn for the sack. So I think maybe this is what, kind of got everybody upset, right? Now, again, I got to be careful with, this video is not even playable. See, can't play the video, all right? So there you go. Copyright, all right? Here's another one. Junior Gillette defines pass rush specialist. Give Donald Penn one of the best in business, real problems. And that was the Raiders against the Redskins. So they're showing old ones. And then Donald Penn's clip. All right, so all this is not kind to Donald Penn. I do not see any video I don't see anything that exonerates Donald Penn from being accused of acting in a way that was inappropriate? I don't see anything. So, Eric Guerrero says, I'm just hoping for our sake Penn has a case. I don't see one. The 411 says, he wore a Raider hat. Sorry, my keyboard is acting weird. Gotcha. And Eiselman says, Penn gaining the blame for Carr and the 3 losses. Crawford says, like I said earlier, this has been a bizarre Sunday in the NFL. Rick Ray says, bye, Zenny. Carr back next week. The season will be done if they lose to StubHub Chargers. Is Carr officially back next week? Richard Ike says, I saw another video from a different angle. Can you produce that video, Richard? And in defense of Penn. Okay. And I get it. All right. Now, okay. Now, I'm waiting for that. Does anybody have, access to a video that shows another version? Kevin KD says, Carr needs to stay out until his fracture heals completely. John Mark says, Cam Robinson would have never charged the fan if he was an Oakland Raider. No, Cam Robinson wouldn't have. And Cam Robinson, while I'm at it, Cam Robinson, you can't link it here? Okay. Hey, can you send me an email, Richard, please? Thank you. Kevin KD says, no point rushing back from a done season. Sister says, yes, Carr is back next week. Okay. Now what I'm looking for here, I'm putting Cam Robinson. Cam Robinson news. Cam Robinson proves up the challenger in his first NFL game. Jaguars Cam Robinson set to play on Sunday. That was September 24th. And let's see here. Cam Robinson roster. Got it. 2015 Jacksonville offensive tackle. Profile. And let's see here. I got another way. Got it. Okay. Surprising retirement clears way for Cam Robinson to start as rookie. That was July 31st. And then August 12th for starters. Smooth opening game for Cam Robinson. And let's see here. We click on news. And we've got, it's Bleacher Report praising Cam Robinson. And then, let's see here. Steelers versus Jaguars factor defensive line, where Steelers Depot describes Cam Robinson and Jerry Parnell as hulking tackles. Hulking tackles. Okay? He had a problem with his shoulder. So basically, he's starting, all right? So look, Cam Robinson's the real deal. The Raiders could have simply penciled him in Donald Penn's spot. Kept moving on. But no, not at all. Raider Flea says, hey, Zenny, what are your thoughts on the vice president walking out of the Colts game because some of the Niner players took a knee? I'm glad you asked, Raider Flea. Hey, Raider Flea, I'm glad you asked. And by the way, please, if I haven't said so before, it is a double share night. It seems like every night lately has been a double share night, doesn't it? But it is a double share night, and it's one-on-one. I'm going to answer your question and then get ready for bed. Now, hey, Bernard. Okay, Corvette says, NFL players stay off Instagram and worry about, yeah, I agree with you. Mike Pence is frigidly inhuman, says Kevin KD. Now, again, getting back to Raider Flea's question, hey, Zenny, what are your thoughts on the Vice President, Mike Pence, walking out of a Colts game because some of the Niner players took a knee? I thought it was staged. Donald Trump himself said that he told Pence to go to that game and if there was anything in the way of protest to leave. So that was all staged because Mike Pence didn't have to go to that game. But what really bothers me about not just what Mike Pence did and said, but this whole idea that if you fail to stand for the flag and salute, you are un-American, is what bothers me is that people who make this claim forget like that the United States was founded on protest, okay? we were trying to get away from British tyranny. We were trying to get away from British rule and taxation and everything else. You know, taxation without representation. So this country was founded on protest. And if you track all the major points in history with respect to our country, they've all had to do with people simply asking for their human civil right to be who they wish to be. That's it. In this instance, the real target is police brutality against black men. And Mike Pence forgot that. He knows what it's about. To say that it's about our troops is ridiculous. It's not about our troops. And not only that, that's a political statement. You do realize that, okay? It's not about our troops. It's about people not wanting to acknowledge that there's something wrong because it didn't happen to them. And that's what this is about. But for the vice president to send that message was irresponsible. It was irresponsible use of American power. Like, and basically it's like they're coming in telling black players, shut up and stay in your lane. Note, shut up like you're a slave. Don't say anything. Don't create an uprising. That's the message that Penn sends. Now he'll bristle at that and say that's not true and yada, yada, yada. But anyone with half a brain knows that. So for Mike Pence to do what he did was un-American and unacceptable. You know, the people that I might I call real patriots are people like the great Senator of Arizona, John McCain. Why? And not for the reasons that you think. Not because he was, you know, tortured or he was captured. No. But because in 2008, when he was running against President Obama to be president of the United States, a woman, in fact, let me show you this. I'm going to show you. This is what I like about John McCain. All right. This is what I like about John McCain. And I want you to see this. Okay. It is worth seeing if you haven't seen it before. This is why I love video. All right. Excuse me for a second. John McCain, Muslim. If you type John McCain, Muslim, Obama, there. All right. This is it. Okay. Right here. Folks, I want you to see this. Watch this. Okay. I'm gonna enlarge this for you. You've got to see it. This is John McCain representing the best of America right here. Excuse me. Try it again.
I can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's an Arab. He is not. No.
No man. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues, and that's what this campaign is all about. He's not. Thank you.
I love that. Now, again.
Obama. I have read about him, and he's an Arab. He is not. No man. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues, and that's what this campaign is all about. He's not.
That's a patriot, folks. Okay, that's a patriot. All right. I don't care what anybody says. That's what American patriots do. That's what heroes do. Heroes don't, you know, bend to the winds of society, thinking that it's okay to make fun of someone like President Obama, like Donald Trump has done and still does. Heroes stop people from making comments like that lady was going to make and say, no, ma'am, that's not what this is about. That's what heroes do. That's why I regard John McCain as a true hero and a true American. In one fell swoop, he proved himself to be the giant that Mike Pence may never be. And I say may because I realize that that as vice president, Mike Pence feels that he is carrying out the dictates of his boss. But how far do you have to go with this? Okay? How far? Mike Pence has already been embarrassed by their once national security advisor earlier. Find out that he lied. And there may be other instances where Mike Pence we will discover has been embarrassed by the actions of the Trump administration. Is Mike Pence American enough to stand up to the administration and say enough is enough? Okay. We need people like John McCain, and we need Mike Pence to be that person, but Mike Pence is not being that person. Enough. I'm going back to sports, okay? Okay. So that's it. I'm going back to sports. Joseph Bensman says the last civilian breath of bipartisanship is dying. All right. Let's talk sports. Let's talk Monday Night Football. And let's talk Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football. All right. But Kevin Gadidius says, and this does have to do with sports. Zinni, they think that the millions that these NFL players earn are incentives to silence them about the plight of their communities. Kevin KD, that is one of the most brilliant comments I've ever seen this year on my channel, period. And John Marks says he has newfound, respect for John McCain. I have had respect for John McCain for years. I mean, oh, awesome. When I saw that first, I remember seeing that the first time. It's like, yes, yes. That's what America's about. Joseph Business says McCain did well that time years ago when he was proving himself a hero, standing up for health care and honestly common sense. That's it, okay? That's it. If we had people like John McCain, we could have fun watching the NFL. We could have fun with sports. We would have a lot of our problems solved via true bipartisanship. We need to be able to focus on football and not have football be a sudden reminder of what's wrong with our country because of stuff like what happened to the Colts game. And that's what we're getting. That's horrible stuff. That's horrible. All right, Monday Night Football. I have a prediction. The Chicago Bears will beat the Minnesota Vikings. Mitch Trubisky will be the next household name. He's starting. Okay? He will give the Chicago Bears, the host Chicago Bears, the spark they need. And they better hurry up and do it fast because Green Bay is starting to look pretty doggone good. That's right. Green Bay is starting to look pretty doggone good. Godfather Grizz and I will be on tomorrow night, 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 Eastern. All right? So again, on the way out, please, if you have a chance, it's double shares night. Even if you invest after this, invest. All right? It is 1:10 in the morning. I am tired. I've had a great day, a long workout. I'm going to bed. I'll see you guys. Good night, everybody. If you just joined us, I'll see you. Thank you all. Thank you all, moderators. Peace and happy birthday, Barry Lee. Love, soul, all that. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night. That's right. See you guys. See you guys. Good night, everybody. And yes, you can bet your last money. It's all going to be a stone gas. Sarah Palin. Good night, everybody. See ya. You the man, Rick Rice. See you guys later. See you guys. See y'all. All right. Good night. Good night, everybody. See you guys later. See you tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow. Tomorrow. That's right. Oh, and by the way, please check out my newest blog, Oakland News Online.com. That's my newest blog. That didn't come up. It was H. Hold on, let me try that again. You got to check out my newest blog, Oakland News Online. It didn't come out correctly. I'm really proud of this. I haven't given it an official opening yet, but this is it. OaklandNewsOnline.com. Oakland's newest blog and news aggregator. There it is. All right, everybody. Good night. I'll see you. Good night. Good night. See you later.